All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome back. Sorry to keep y'all waiting. You read the description. Kevin Samuels sat down with Nicki Minaj, and they had a conversation. So congrats to Kevin. That's definitely a big accomplishment. You feel me? Um, and I really hope that his channel blows up after him having this conversation, because I know all the Nicki fans are definitely gonna tune in and definitely gonna see what's been going on. So if you don't know who Kevin Samuels is, he's a image consultant. He started off in the business industry, talking to different guys, who were making a lot of money but couldn't figure out why they couldn't find a woman, So then he started talking to different women and just basically getting their input or their thought process about, how they view life and just things like that. So he ended up becoming a bit controversial because of the way that he has conversations with different people. Um, some people say he's a bit too honest, a bit brutally honest, and that's turned into him starting to have a rep for hating women, or more specifically, hating black women. So in the conversation, they kind of addressed this. He addressed it when she asked about it, and so they went over a couple of different points. I feel like they could have had a way more structured conversation. So I wanted to make this video so that I could go over the points that they talked about in a more concise way, rather than you having to watch 20 minutes of not too much being covered. So like I said, I feel like the conversation definitely could have been more structured than it was. There was a lot of waiting for somebody to get to the point, whether it was Kevin waiting on Nicki Minaj's answer to a question, and she was just, for some reason, couldn't come up with the answer to what I feel like will be a pretty simple question. I mean, a pretty simple answer. Um, a couple of times in the video, while Nicki was trying to explain a point, she would start over 1, 2, 3, 5 times, on the same thing. And so her saying one sentence that could have been said in like maybe 10 seconds took a whole minute and a half for her to say it. You feel me? So it started to get a little bit cringy. So, and then another thing that would happen is there was a lot of trailing off and changing of the subject. They would start one place, and then before that point or that question got fully answered, the whole conversation would be in a different direction. So I feel like the questions could have been a bit better. The dialogue could have been a bit more structured. But overall, I do feel like it was a beneficial conversation for them to have, for the people to have, just for them to have, for the people to see. Sorry. So yeah. So the first thing was Kevin was addressing his celebrity persona, or how people view him, right? So like I said, he mentioned how he gets a bad rep for hating black women, but he wanted to stress that how his main focus and his purpose for starting this was he wanted to help black men and black women, one, get their shit together, and two, get together, and three, get happily married. He is not a big fan of the hookup culture. He's more traditional, has more traditional values, and he's saying that the hookup culture isn't really helping us get to where we say we want to be at. So if you watch his show, you'll see he kind of tells people, he's like, all right, you could be playing around, but you don't want to end up 35 and still single, wondering why you can't get married, wondering why you can't get a solid, serious relationship going. And if you haven't seen his other videos, his controversy comes from the guests that he has on his shows. He has a process of helping them self-evaluate, and he never judges anybody. Well, sometimes he may judge somebody, but the way that he gets to his point isn't by him telling them, this is what I think of you. He really gets them to answer their own questions. So he'll ask, there will be a woman who will get up there let's say she's 35, 32, and she'll have 5 kids, right? By 3 different fathers. She will also be 5'4" and weigh about 200 pounds. But then the problem will be she'll get up there and say, I want a man who makes $500,000 and who wants to marry me. And all of my kids are still children. So I want him to marry me. I want him to be an active role in their life. I want all of us to be able to live with him. And I don't plan on having any more kids. So I feel like anybody, the typical person could see what's wrong with that picture. But a lot of the women who get up on his platform trying to have these conversations with him, convinced that it's going to go a different way, get offended when he says, okay, how many people do you know, men or women, making $500,000 a year? How many people are there making $500,000 a year? How many men are there making $500,000? How many men do you know making $500,000? How many men do you know that are making $500,000 that aren't in a relationship or aren't already married? And so then he gets down to, a number of men that are available that are what this woman is saying that she wants. And then he'll ask her, does a man that's like this want a woman who's 35 with 5 kids who are children that doesn't want to have any more kids? And when it starts getting to that point, when she has to say, no, probably not, that's when they start getting offended. And the conversation starts to go downhill and they start personally attacking him. And that's when he starts throwing his own judgments out there, because one thing that he doesn't tolerate is people getting on his platform, trying to run his show, and then on top of that, trying to be rude. You feel me? He's real big on mutual respect, and being rational, And so when you get up there and you want to talk to them about an issue, you have to be prepared to get the answer that you're actually going to get, not having somebody trying to sugarcoat stuff. You feel me? So as he was doing his overview of who he is and who he is as a personality, or a public figure now, he said he mentioned that he's helped over 50 couples find each other, and he's helped over 12 marriages happen. And for his platform to only be booming for about a year to 2 years now, I think that's a pretty good number to have. When you say you're image consultant and you're actually helping couples get together, and you are a sort of relationship coach. Like, I feel like those are good numbers to have, especially being new into the industry. But he also mentions how, only 1 in 4 black women are getting married even once in their life. I know 1 in 4 doesn't sound like it's low, but it's only 25%. So 25 out of 100 black women are getting married, leaving 75 to be single for their entire life. That's gonna leave a lot of black women, who say they want to be married in their relationships, being very disappointed when they get to the point where they realize, hey, I might not get married. So when he's being real with these women on his show, that's the point, is because he's trying to say, hey, your expectations are too high, or you're involving yourself with the wrong people, or you're doing the wrong thing with your life. You feel me? You living your life this way isn't going to end up with you having that husband, kids, and a home. You're going to end up being single, maybe with kids or without kids, probably on Section 8, you know what I'm saying, and alone with some cats. You feel me? That's how he's describing it. So, some people are going to get their feelings hurt trying to get on the show with a guy who is expressing his views like this, but he's just trying to keep it real, and so that ultimately we can have a better outlook on our relationships in the future. So the next thing that happened was Nicki Minaj. She kind of took the floor while they were in the middle of a conversation and said, hey, I want to address the women real quick. Well, no. First thing she said was, I want to address the men. And so she said she felt like men who were expressing their frustrations and their wishes about what they would like to see out of relationships and their frustrations about how relationships are currently going and how modern, the new term is modern women, how modern women are behaving and what they expect compared to what they're willing to give. She feels like the guys who get on social media and talk about those things are bitter. Kevin responded by saying that, first of all, there's a lot of hurt on both sides. So there's a lot of women who are hurt and they're moving in reaction to them being hurt. And there's a lot of men that are hurt and are moving in reaction to them being hurt. So the first thing that needs to be done is addressing the hurt that's going on. And these are ways that men feel like they are able to address how they feel, There's plenty of not only social media accounts run by women, but there's even media networks on TV, which have built a brand off of shaming and emasculating men. Some of these shows include The View, the Dr. Phil show, the Steve Harvey show. Men are literally demonized on these shows, even when they get up there and they're the victim. For example, like you might have a man who's been in a 10-year marriage and has a child, a newborn child, maybe 2 years old, 3 years old, and come to find out the child's not his. People get upset with him and demonize him, and even the hosts on these shows demonize him when he says, I don't want to be involved in this at all anymore. And they're saying, yeah, the kid's not yours, but you should still be involved in his life. You feel me? Like that's a pretty hurtful thing to say to somebody when, you've been in a 10-year marriage and your wife has gone off and had an affair on you, had a kid, kept the kid, and it's not even yours. You feel me? And now you're being told by society that you should stay there and raise this child as if it was yours. You feel me? You don't even have any of your own kids. So men started getting on social media platforms and voicing their own opinions because as a male species as a whole, like we're tired of not being heard at home and having our relationships fail. You feel me? A lot of us are, we're hard workers. We have a vision of success that we want. And, to go along with that, a lot of men, we just want a good wife. You know what I'm saying? A good wife, a good family, a nice home, a nice car, and a good lifestyle. You feel me? So when we have everything except for the marriage and the relationship working out, it gets very frustrating. You feel me? Because now what's going on in today's society is there's literally trends of women who are cheating on their men on video. You feel me? If they're not cheating on him, they're belittling him, berating him, and it's becoming like a sport. And so we try to come together and talk about what it is that we're frustrated with, and what we as hardworking guys feel we deserve from a woman who says that she wants to be with us, right? So our next point, after they talked about that, was she directed this one at women, and she said women need to focus on becoming successful and rich to get themselves to the point where they feel they can choose a man based off their aura of success rather than focus on the traits that men prefer in women in order for them to get chosen. So, to repeat that, she said, women should use success and money so that they can be able to choose a man instead of worrying about being what a man likes so that a man wants to choose her. So there's a couple of holes in this theory, right? Um, Based on how dating currently works. You feel me? Uh, the first hole in this theory is assuming that men are attracted to rich and successful women. Well, assuming that men are attracted to women based on their success and how much money that they have, right? Because you can have a woman who is rich and successful and is attractive, but the men who are attracted to her aren't attracted to her because she's rich and successful. They're attracted to her because she's attractive. You feel me? In other ways, women typically weigh that into them being attracted to men based off of how successful and how much money that they have. That's not how men work. Um, Men prefer to choose women based on how feminine they are, how loyal they are, how faithful they are, and how supportive, collaborative, and cooperative they are. Um, so there's reasons for why we have those preferences, which can be going over in a different video. But I just wanted to say what those traits are that men are looking for. So yeah, based off how dating is currently set up, men can't benefit from a woman and from a woman's money and her success the same way that a woman can benefit from a man's success and his money, right? So let's take Chris Brown and Karuchi, right? I mean, this may not be an exactly accurate depiction, but this is how I seen the situation. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Chris Brown found Karuchi wherever he was at when he met her. You feel me? They had their relationship. It was very public. They broke up. Karuchi, having been out with Chris Brown and she's attractive, started being hit up so to make appearances at different venues and stuff like that, and was able to grow her own career based off of her notoriety while being with him, right? That's an example of a woman benefiting off of the man she was with, success and his money, right? Now let's take Nicki Minaj and her man. Everybody knows that, at this point she's married, but I don't see him making public appearances to clubs and stuff like that. I don't see his name starting to rise. I don't see him showing up on TV shows or making cameos in movies or music videos or having pictures with, the men that Nicki Minaj knows. I haven't really seen this guy at all. Only thing I know about him is that, he had got out of jail recently for what I think was like attempted murder or murder, something like that. You feel me? That's the one thing that showed up about this guy that everybody knows about is that he's a criminal. He ain't been showing up nowhere. You feel me? As far as somebody paying to see him there. You feel me? So men can't really benefit off of a woman's success the same way that a woman can benefit off of a man's success. Now I won't say that there aren't exceptions. There's always an outlier, but typically that's not the way it works. Also, women are not courting men in dating, right? You don't have women walking up to a man and saying, "Hey, I find you attractive. I want to date you. I want you to be my man." And then she's taking him on dates, paying for those dates. They're going out, getting drinks. She's covering the tab. He's leaving the tip. You know what I'm saying? She pulling up on him, picking him up, opening up his door, whatever. That's not happening. You feel me? And I don't believe, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't believe that women want to do this. For the first reason being, y'all don't want to get rejected. You feel me? Y'all don't want to face having to walk up to a man and, he says, "Oh, I'm not interested," or he gives you his number and you hit him up, he doesn't answer the phone, or he's being real dry, or he doesn't text you back. Y'all don't want that. You feel me? So y'all are less likely to put yourselves out there currently in order to make that happen. You feel me? You still want to be courted. You feel me? You like the feeling of having a man walk up to you and tell you, "Hey, I find you attractive. Uh, you know what I'm saying? You like being in Walmart, sitting there with your friend. You know what I'm saying? And I walk down on you, and I'm like, hey, you know what I'm saying? This is my name. It's nice to meet you. I find you attractive. I'd like to take you out sometime. What's your number? Let's have a conversation later. Let's see where this thing can go. You feel me? And I put together a date idea. You feel me? I go buy the wine. I make, you know what I'm saying? I go get the food, whatever. I take care of all that. You like to be taken care of, and there's nothing wrong with that. And we like women looking at us as providers. We like to be someone who you view as, successful, dependable, responsible, and a leader. We like that. You feel me? We're not tripping about uh, being courted. You feel me? So, what's the point of you using your money and your success to attract a man when that's not even what he's looking for? Uh, Especially if you're using that and you're still expecting him to work and pay the bills. You feel me? So your money is going to be your money. Your money is not going to be our money. Our money is going to be, a man's money is going to be the relationship's money, but the woman's money is going to be the woman's money, not the relationship's money, right? But if that's how y'all would prefer to start running it, then you just gotta start running it that way. You feel me? But as of right now, that's not what anybody's used to. So, trying to use that as a way to get a man that you want, rather than just asking what we want and becoming that if you aren't already, that's kind of hustling backwards. And you're gonna end up being one of those women who are 35 years old and have never been in a serious relationship and are still wondering, hey, why can't I get a man? I make $150,000 a year. You feel me? I should have men all over me. That's not what they're looking for. That's not what the guys that you want are looking for. The guys who want the money and they want a successful man are going to be men who probably aren't what you want. You feel me? They are with you because of your money. They're not with you because of you. And those things will start to become known as the relationship goes on. And you start realizing, hey, he don't love me for me. He's just loving what I can do for him. You feel me? While he can just sit down, lay on the couch, play the PS5 all day. But I come home, you know what I'm saying? He just still just chilling there. He's using me. Those aren't the type of guys you want. You're looking for the types of guys who are making more than you. If you're making 150, he's making 250. You feel me? There's a lot of reasons why that situation wouldn't really work out the way that you think it would work out. But we can go over that in a different video. Comment and let me know if you want me to go over that. So what's happening now in the dating market is both men and women are competing for dominance. And basically that's what Nicki's point, the undertones of her point are saying, become successful, become rich. In order for you to even want to do that, you have to have a specific set of skills and a specific set of characteristics and traits that even motivate you to become rich and successful. You feel me? And normally those traits, skills, and characteristics aren't aligned with the type of women that a man is looking for. Not to say that a woman who is successful and rich is never the traits that we're looking for, but typically, in order for you to have a hustler's mentality, for you to have unwavering ambition, for you to be competitive, those traits come with you being aggressive, maybe manipulative, combative, and domineering. That's not what a man is looking for out of a typical ideal relationship in his head. We want somebody that's more easygoing, down to earth, supportive, things like that. Those types of traits don't necessarily align with somebody who wants to be a millionaire. You feel me? Those types of traits align with somebody who will be fine with being a millionaire, Whether they would use that type of person would have a hobby first and ended up being loved and admired for having a hobby versus saying, hey, I like to draw pictures. I'm going to go out today and I'm going to sell it. No. Versus the type of woman we're attracted to says, hey, I like drawing pictures. I'm gonna draw pictures and I'm gonna draw pictures for me. You feel me? It's something I like to do that relaxes me. I like to do it with my girls. My man likes to draw too. We can draw together. You feel me? And I'm gonna put these pictures up on Pinterest because I like looking at Pinterest. I like having my stuff up there. I like saving my things somewhere. You feel me? And oh yeah, you wake up 3-6 months later and your Pinterest page is booming because you are a great artist and everybody wants to buy your art now. You didn't set out trying to become a successful entrepreneur. You set out saying, hey, I like to do something because I like to do it. You feel me? And you became successful by being yourself, not by trying to create a multi-million-dollar empire. You feel me? You didn't have to be masculine to become successful. You were still able to remain feminine and original and authentic to yourself to become successful. And that's the type of women that men these days are looking for. So, but what's happening is, since it's being pushed that women should compete with men now and be more dominant than them, this is a contrast to how it used to be, where men were only having to compete with each other in order to become leaders and become dominant. And then they had women who wanted them because they were dominant and leaders. You feel me? And then so they would go choose that woman based off of who they felt wanted them for themselves the most, and who was the most feminine and most attracted and attractive to them. But now you have women saying, hey, I want to get involved in the men's game. I want to compete with the guys. And yeah, I'm not going to say like women lose, but you have women who come around, they're very athletic, they're very strong, they're very strong-willed, they're very independent. And they can win in these competitions, they can win in these industries. They can become the CEO of a company. They can become fastest runner in the world, the best basketball player in the world, the best rapper in the rap game. You feel me? But what's happening is you have these women who are stepping up to this plate and they're winning, and then they're turning around and realizing that, hey, the guys I'm competing with don't want me. The guys who are watching the sport don't want me. The guys who are watching this sport are watching the sport with their wives who are chilling. You know what I'm saying? And so these women who are getting up there, they're wondering, hey, y'all done told me to bust my ass, so much for so long, and I will become rich and successful, and I will have all these men at my feet wanting me. What happened? Well, you focused on the wrong thing. You know what I'm saying? You didn't focus on being what men are looking for. You focused on being a man. You know what I'm saying? You focused on manly tendencies. And so a man that's attracted to a man is gay. You feel me? No. So a man is attracted to feminine traits. And so he wants a woman who does feminine things, and a woman who isn't trying to compete with him and what he's trying to be good at all the time. You feel me? If you want to do the same thing, then you need to complement each other, not compete with each other, right? So that's just what happens when you choose to listen to people who are telling you to do something that works in a way that doesn't work. You feel me? You have people who are just trying to come up with something to say just so they can have something to say, and they're leading you down the wrong path. You feel me? So when you have guys who you can just go to and ask, hey, what do you like? What type of women are you attracted to? What do women that you're attracted to like to do? You can ask them that, and you can see, okay, I like to do this. This either aligns with what they say they like or it doesn't. You feel me? I either have the traits of what they say they like or I don't. And then you could say, okay, I'm willing to if I don't have this trait or I don't like to do this, I'm willing to try it. I'm willing to try to be like it. Or it might not just be something you want to do, which is also fine. But stop listening to people who are telling you to be combative and argumentative and aggressive and competitive in order to attract somebody. That opposites attract, not the same. You feel me? In order for you to get rich, you have to in the same industry that I'm in, you have to compete with me. We have to be the same, but you have to be more of that than I am. And so if you're more aggressive than me, I'm not trying to be in a constant battle with somebody that I like. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't make any sense. So these women are confused as to why after they become these wildly successful women, which is great for history books, but they're wondering why the guys who's standing around aren't standing around waiting on them. They're just enjoying the show, and they're going back home to their happy wives and happy lives. So overall, though, I do feel like the conversation between Kevin and Nicki was beneficial. Um, it's helped Kevin's channel grow. It's given Nicki's fans an insight into how she thinks. She has been able, as a strong figure, as a public figure, as one of the most famous female artists in the world, being able to have her get on a platform and talk about her truth and her perspective and be able to ask questions of another guy, to get his perspective. I think it's beneficial. You feel me? Like I said, the conversation could have been more structured. Points could have been more concise instead of trailing off and changing the conversation as much as they did. But sometimes those things happen in conversations. But congrats to him and congrats to them. I'm hoping that Kevin can go ahead and get Drake up there next, so he can talk about his hot sauce method. You feel me? He's a high value man, and so it will be interesting to see what his take on modern relationships is and modern women are and what men should expect, what women should expect. Just different things like that. I'd love to hear his take on that. Some other people I'd like to hear would be from Meg Thee Stallion, maybe the City Girls, if they're still a thing. Diddy. I want to hear from Jay-Z and Beyonce together. You feel me? And just all these different personalities talking to Kevin about their outlook on relationships and what they expect and what their truth is and stuff like that. Because one thing I will say is that I feel like a lot of these entertainers who portray a certain image, like let's say, Meg Thee Stallion, Cardi B, or whoever, other female musicians who are promoting highly sexualized music and the thought lifestyle. I would say that once you sit them down and have a conversation with them, or you analyze the actual life behind the camera, or when the camera's off, will be highly different from what they're portraying and telling women to be these days. You feel me? A lot of, just like these rappers, like they're promoting gang violence, drug dealing, doing drugs, cheating on their girls, having sex with other dudes, women, you know what I'm saying? But you get them from behind the camera, and a lot of these guys, not all of them, but a lot of these guys they're living sober, they're married, they're only worrying about trying to get a check, trying to take care of their family, and chill. You feel me? So I would definitely like to get the people who are in the industry who are promoting those types of lifestyles and seeing what their actual life looks like when the cameras are off. I'm really interested in seeing that. I'm gonna go ahead and put a link to the full video with Kevin and Nicki in the description. It's 20 minutes long. Check it out. You feel me? I appreciate y'all for sticking around. Please give me a subscribe. I definitely appreciate all the support. Like the video, comment, and stay engaged. I got some more stuff on the way as well. Let me know what y'all want to see next. And I appreciate it. Don't hold your breath. It's a talk show.